Good morning, guys. This is the 8th day of September. I just realized it's my anniversary. But today we're going to be reading the book of Matthew every day between 8:30 and 9. I will go live and read a little bit of the Bible with you guys, just because I want you guys to get some Bible in. I know everyone's mornings are busy and I have a few extra minutes, so I'll read it and all you guys have to do is listen. So we're in the book of Matthew. We're starting right at the beginning, Matthew chapter 1. But we're going to start at verse 18, which is the birth of Jesus. So it says, the birth of Jesus the Messiah. This is how Jesus the Messiah was born. His mother Mary was engaged to be married to Joseph. But before the marriage took place, while she was still a virgin, she became pregnant through the power of the Holy Spirit. Joseph, to whom she was engaged, was a righteous man and did not want to disgrace her publicly. So he decided to break the engagement quietly. As he considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Joseph, son of David, the angel said, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child within her was conceived by the Holy Spirit. And she will have a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. All of this occurred to fulfill the Lord's message through the prophet. Look, the virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. When Joseph woke up, he did as the angel of the Lord commanded and took Mary as his wife. But he did not have sexual relations with her until her son was born, and Joseph named him Jesus. Chapter 2. Visitors from the East. Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of King Herod. And about that time, some wise men from eastern lands arrived in Jerusalem asking, where is the newborn king of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose, and we have come to worship him. King Herod was deeply disturbed when he heard this, as was everyone in Jerusalem. He called a meeting of the leading priests and teachers of religious law and asked, where is the Messiah supposed to be born? In Bethlehem, in Judea, they said, for this is what the prophet wrote. And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not least among the ruling cities of Judah. For a ruler will come from you, who will be the shepherd for my people Israel. Then Herod called for a private meeting with the wise men, and he learned from them the time when the star first appeared. Then he told them, go to Bethlehem and search carefully for the child. And when you find him, come back and tell me so that I can go and worship him too. After this interview, the wise men went their way, and the star they had seen in the east guided them to Bethlehem. It went ahead of them and stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were filled with joy. They entered the house and saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasure chest and gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. When it was time to leave, they returned to their own country by another route, for God had warned them in a dream not to return to Herod. The escape of Egypt. After the wise men were gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Get up, flee to Egypt with the child and his mother. The angel said, stay there until I tell you to return, because Herod is going to search for the child to kill him. That night Joseph left for Egypt with the child and Mary, his mother, and they stayed there until Herod's death. This fulfilled what the Lord had spoken through the prophet. I called my son out of Egypt. Herod was furious when he realized that the wise men had outwitted him. He sent soldiers to kill all the boys in and around Bethlehem, who were 2 years old and under, based on the wise men's report of the star's first appearance. Herod's brutal action fulfilled what God had spoken through the prophet Jeremiah. A cry was heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning. Rachel weeps for her children, refuses to be comforted, for they are dead. The return to Nazareth. This is Matthew chapter 2, verse 19. When Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in the dream to Joseph in Egypt. "Get up," the angel said. "Take the child and his mother back to the land of Israel, because those who were trying to kill the child are dead." So Joseph got up and returned to the land of Israel with Jesus and his mother. But when he learned that the new ruler of Judea was Herod's son Archelaus, he was afraid to go there. Then, after being warned in a dream, he left for the region of Galilee. So the family went and lived in a town called Nazareth. This fulfilled what the prophets had said: "He will be called a Nazarene." So I just want to go back a little bit because my Bible has notes. So Matthew 2, verse 11 had a note about worship. And just going back to Matthew 2, verse 11, which we read a few minutes ago, it said, "They entered the house and saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures." So the note says, "The wise men traveled hundreds of miles to see the King of the Jews. When they finally found him, they responded with joy, worship, and gifts." How different from the approach we often take today. We expect God to come looking for us, explain himself, prove who he is, and give us gifts. Those who are wise will seek Jesus because they suspect that he is unlike any other person, sent for a special purpose. Do you really know who he is? How important is it to you to discover him for yourself? So we're going to end there for today. I know it was short, but I think it is really important just to get a little bit of the word in every day and to know who Jesus is. So that's why we started with Matthew. Tomorrow we'll do 2 to 3 more chapters. So we'll probably start at Matthew 3 and go all the way to Matthew 5 or 6. But I just think it's really interesting that the note on worship, like as soon as they saw the baby, they dropped down and started worshiping. And I also think it's interesting that Jesus said, "Get up and go." And immediately Joseph took his kid and took Mary. He didn't say, "But God, I have to pay this bill," or "God, I didn't pack yet," or "But I have an obligation, like I have a party to go to tomorrow, I have to beat." He didn't do any of that. When Jesus said, "Get up and go," he got up and go. And then again, Jesus said, "Get up," and Joseph got up and he went again. He didn't rebuttal. And so I think that's very important. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.